Hey guys, this is Amit and you are watching Tech Dad. In this video, we are going to compare between Redmi 10 Prime versus Poco M3 Pro 5G, and we will discuss which one is better in camera, performance, display, body of the devices, features, communication chips, and about the prices. In the end of the video, I will tell you which one is better according to me. So watch this video till the end. So without wasting any time, let's start the video. Let the comparison start with the camera of the devices. Talking about the rear camera of the devices, 10 Prime comes with quad camera setup, 15 megapixel of wide camera, 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera, 2 megapixel of macro camera and 2 megapixel of depth sensor. Whereas M3 Pro comes with triple camera setup, 48 megapixel of wide camera, 2 megapixel of macro camera and 2 megapixel of depth sensor. So the winner here is 10 Prime because it have quad camera setup, which have 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera. And about the front camera of the devices, 10 Prime have 8 megapixel of wide camera, whereas M3 Pro also have 8 megapixel of wide camera. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same camera module. Let's talk about the camera features of the devices. 10 Prime have LED flash, HDR and panorama, whereas M3 Pro have dual tone dual LED flash, HDR and panorama. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it have dual tone dual LED flash. And about the video recording options in the devices, 10 Prime can shoot Full HD video max at 30 fps and M3 Pro can record Full HD video max at 30 fps. So without a doubt, it's a tie because both of the devices have same recording specs. Moving to the performance of the devices, let's start with the operating system of the devices. 10 Prime have Android 11 support, on the other side M3 Pro have Android 11 support. So it's a tie. And about the user interface of the devices, 10 Prime have MIUI, whereas M3 Pro comes with MIUI too. So it's a tie because both of the user interface have same UI. Let's talk about the processor of the devices. 10 Prime is powered by MediaTek Helio G88 based on 12nm processor, whereas M3 Pro is powered by Dimensity 700 5G based on 7nm processor. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it have faster processor. And about the GPU of the devices, 10 Prime is packed with Mali G52, whereas M3 Pro is packed with Mali G57. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it can give you more FPS in games. Let's talk about the clock speed of the devices. 10 Prime can clock at 2.0 GHz based on octa-core Cortex chipset, whereas M3 Pro can clock at 2.2 GHz based on octa-core Cortex chipset. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it have little bit faster clock speed. And about the RAM variants in the devices, 10 Prime have two options, 4 and 6 GB, whereas M3 Pro have 4 and 6 GB too. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same RAM options. Let's talk about the internal storage of the devices. 10 Primes comes with 64 and 128 GB of storage, whereas M3 Pro have 64 and 128 GB of storage. But the winner here is M3 Pro because it have faster read and write speed. And about the external storage of the devices, 10 Prime have dedicated card slot, whereas M3 Pro have shared card slot. So the winner here is 10 Prime. Moving to the display features of the devices, let's start with the display size of the devices. 10 Prime have 6.5 inches of display, whereas M3 Pro have 6.5 inches of display too. So it's a tie here because both of the devices have approximately the same screen size. And about the screen to body ratio of the devices, 10 Prime have approximately 83.4%, whereas M3 Pro have 83.7%. So I will call it a tie because both of the devices have approximately the same ratio. Let's talk about the screen resolution of the devices. 10 Prime comes with Full HD Plus display, whereas M3 Pro also have Full HD Plus display. So it's a tie. And about the display type of the devices, 10 Prime have LCD display having 90Hz of refresh rate, whereas M3 Pro have IPS LCD display having 90Hz of refresh rate. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it have IPS LCD display, which is better than LCD display. Moving to the body features of the devices, let's start with the thickness of the devices. 10 Prime have 8.9 mm of thickness, whereas M3 Pro have 8.9 mm of thickness. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same thickness. Talking about the weight of the devices, 10 Prime comes with 181 grams of weight, whereas M3 Pro have 190 grams of weight. So the winner here is 10 Prime because it have lighter body weight. And about the protective glass of the devices, 10 Prime have Gorilla Glass 3, whereas M3 Pro have Gorilla Glass 3. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same generation of glass. Let's talk about the build quality of the devices. 10 Prime have plastic back with plastic frame, whereas M3 Pro have plastic back with plastic frame. So it's a tie because both of the devices have solid build quality. And about the SIM options in the devices, both of the devices have dual nano SIM support. So it's a tie. Moving to some of the most important features of the devices, Let's start with the fingerprint scanner of the devices. 10 Prime have side mounted fingerprint scanner. On the other side, M3 Pro have side mounted fingerprint scanner. So it's a tie here. And about the sensors in the devices, 10 Prime have accelerometer, proximity and compass, whereas M3 Pro have accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and compass. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it have gyroscope. Let's talk about the battery capacity of the devices. 10 Prime have 5000 mAh of battery capacity, whereas M3 Pro also have 5000 mAh of battery capacity. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same battery capacity. Let's talk about the charging speed of the devices. 10 Prime have 18 watts of fast charging, whereas M3 Pro have 18 watts of fast charging too. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same charging speed. Let's talk about the loudspeaker of the devices. 10 Prime comes with stereo speakers, whereas M3 Pro have normal speakers. So it's a tie. And about the headphone jack of the devices, 10 Prime have 3.5mm of headphone jack, whereas M3 Pro also have. So it's a tie here. Moving to the communication chips in the devices, starting with the W line of the devices. Both of the devices have Wi-Fi AC, dual band Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi direct and hotspot, so it's a tie. And about the Bluetooth version of the devices, 10 Prime have 5.1 generation of Bluetooth, whereas M3 Pro have 5.1 generation of Bluetooth. So it's a tie here because both of the devices have same generation of Bluetooth. Let's talk about the positioning chips in the devices. 10 Prime have AGPS, GLONASS, Galileo and BDS, whereas M3 Pro have AGPS, GLONASS, Galileo and BDS. So it's a tie. And about the USB connectivity of the devices, 10 Prime have second gen of Type-C connector, whereas M3 Pro also have second gen of Type-C connector. So it's a tie. Moving to the price of the devices, in the international market, starting range of 10 Prime is around $200 US, whereas M3 Pro is available from $170 US. In the Indian market, 10 Prime have starting range from 12,000 rupees, whereas M3 Pro is available from 14,000 rupees. So the conclusion of the video is, in the camera, the winner here is 10 Prime. In the performance, the winner here is M3 Pro. In the display, it's a tie. In the body segment, the winner here is 10 Prime. In the features of the device, it's a tie. In the communication chips, it's a tie. And about the prices, the winner here is M3 Pro. So the decision is totally yours. Which device you like the most so far, and let me know in the comment below. What do you think, which device is better for you? So thank you guys for watching this video. If you like our content, please like our video, share this video and subscribe to our channel. Comment what's your thought in the comment below. If you're watching this video on Facebook, please like our page #that. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, here's my Instagram on the screen. This is Amit and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, bye.